Afternoon guys, we're back in Gavin's indoor studio here, continuing our winter work session. So this is the third session so far. Hopefully you've seen the other ones. The first two sessions we focused on a short game, kind of 100 yards or slightly above that and in. And we also had a kind of a discussion around what we want to work on over the winter months. So those two sessions are certainly the short game sessions have highlighted one or two things. The main one is width, maintaining width in the swing, and that's what we're going to continue working on today. So we're going to do that indoors today, obviously take advantage of the setup here, and continue to see if we can make some progress on width. Anything you want to?
No, just that we've established what we need to work on, and I think that common theme runs throughout your game, throughout, from short to long game. So if we just stick with that for the next couple of months, I think we'll see significant improvement just by getting that one thing improved on. Obviously session one we set out some goals long-term handicap wise, and how we might get to that point next year where you're happier with your game and with your handicap and scores. So we've worked on establishing those goals. We focused on the short game. Obviously, as I said, that theme runs through your long game as well, so we'll do a little bit of that today and just keep pushing things forward gradually, bit by bit.
Okay, let's get started. So
okay, now if we just look at that particular shot there and read the numbers, so you're 3 degrees across it, which is fine, and generally speaking with irons, we like the path to be a degree or two across it with the face of the path slightly open to that number, and that's what produces, the straightest shots.
Go back to impact. So if I was to say to you, right, we take our impact bag for a second. I'd like you to go up to the top of the backswing and just bring the club down to the bag. Square. Okay, now, in real time, you'd have a bit more weight in your front. Yeah, there you go. Okay, you'd have a bit more weight in your front foot, your hips would be slightly more open, your face of the club would be square, and your hands would be forward. Okay, so you can see how tight your grip is. That would obviously prevent you from rotating your wrists to square the club face. So start again where the ball would be, go up to the top of the backswing. Just bring the face of the club down to the ball, back square. Good, excellent. Again, that's probably a tad open. Let's just square a little bit more. And start again. Up to the top of the backswing. And again, down to the bag slowly. Good. Okay, so that's better. Feeling different?
Yeah.
It's just a case of creating a stronger mental connection with what you're doing versus where the club face should be. So, as I said, it's in a slightly open position at the moment. Let's just try and square it up.
Perfect.
Yeah, so really good numbers now. Anytime we have small numbers, it's always good. Small numbers mean straight shots. So getting the negative positive relationship between path and face is great, and getting the numbers matched up in terms of the percentage of one over the other is also really good. I think the lesson, the key to the lesson though, is the importance of getting the face square. Okay, so what we worked on this morning was the club face. We started off hitting shots that were starting right and spinning to the right, and we identified that the path was a couple of degrees negative, which would produce curvature to the right. But more importantly for me, the club face wasn't matching up to the path number. So we focused on squaring the club face a little bit more, and we talked about how the lead wrist, or the left wrist in Niall's case as a right-handed golfer, really represents the club face. Now, by focusing on creating a little bit more rotation in the left wrist, Niall was able to get a sense of what the club face was doing as well. And rather than
complicated by thinking about how to square the club face using the golf swing. He was thinking about using his first port of contact with the club, which was his hands. And your hands will directly affect the club face by how much they rotate, how much they hinge, etc. So once we turned our attention to the left wrist and club face, Niall was very quickly able to get the face into a more square position. And indirectly, we were actually increasing width as well. So for Niall to square the club face, he had to become very focused of where his left arm and where his left wrist were at impact. And we used the impact bag to demonstrate that position. And to a certain extent, he's working this out through feeling, by making contact with the impact bag and strengthening up the position of his impact. Indirectly, he's getting his left arm more in front of his body, which increases arm speed and width, which goes back to what we originally want to work on. So we got a combination of improvements here. We got an improvement in club head speed, we got an improvement in ball speed, average carry, and total distance also. The relationship between the path and the face improved dramatically. So as opposed to the face being 4 degrees open to a minus 2.6 path on average, that came down dramatically. And then carry and overall distance improved by, almost a full club.
Right,
so it just goes to show you the power of getting the face of the club square to the direction that you're swinging, or slightly, in your case, slightly open to the direction you're swinging. But we achieved all this by working on the concept of having the face square to the target.
Yeah.
And as we know, it's not a perfect science, but there's huge improvements to be gained by focusing more on the club face and less on your swing. I'm somewhat of a believer that it is all about impact. I'm more of a believer that it's not all about impact, it's also about how you get there.
Yeah.
But I think from a performance point of view, and in analysing why your shots weren't finishing closer to your target, today was all about impact.
Yeah.
And I think if you go and focus over the next couple of weeks on improving that impact position, we'll be still maintaining our goal, which is to maintain width.
Yeah.
And we'll see an improvement in the shots in every way.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing from my perspective is, we are only focusing on tiny things each time we come in, but it's all around maintaining that width. We're not moving away from that. And I've spoken about it in the other videos as well, but these simple little takeaways. So this notion of focusing on that left wrist position rather than thinking about everything else that's happening in the swing.
Absolutely.
Because that is that's your impact position. Okay, you've got to have the fundamentals and everything correct ahead of that. But for me, at this stage of where we are and what we're trying to achieve, that simple thing within a swing or two of just focusing on that wrist position, we've seen a marked improvement in the strike, the shape of the shot, and the distance. So focus on the keep it simple, focus on the little things, and for me, being able to work with the impact bag and just feel that position. Again, you don't have to go and hit truckloads of balls, but you do have to put the effort in, obviously, to see the results. So
no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. So, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please click if you're enjoying these to follow. There will be more coming. This is a journey that we're on over the winter, and hopefully you'll start to see the results and some scores and stuff as we get back into the season.
Great.